Alexander Cummings. Mr. Cummings, welcome to the OK Conversation.
Good afternoon, JJ. Happy New Year. And it's great to be with you and your listening audience this afternoon.
It's very difficult for leaders to call me JJ. They always say Julius.
If you prefer Julius, I will call you
No,
Julius.
that's the one I prefer. That's really casual, and then that is good.
So, JJ, good to be with you.
Okay.
Excited by the opportunity to talk to you and your audience.
Sure, it has been quite a while.
It has been.
How are you? How are you faring? You look much grayer than yesterday.
I'm not much grayer. I'm much grayer than I was 5 years ago when I entered politics, right? But today I'm actually, I feel good.
Feel good.
I feel energized and I feel grateful. And let me explain why. I feel good that, we have the opportunity to begin to expose the hypocrisy of our politics in Liberia and how politics really work and how politics in Liberia connives to keep our country poor, to keep this. And so this is an opportunity to show that to our people. I feel energized because I think our message of partisans of the Liberty Party who are also behind me and supporting me, JJ. I'm grateful to our international partners. Many of them have reached out to me quietly, supporting this effort as well. And most importantly, I'm grateful to Liberian people who I've been overwhelmed by the number of people that are reaching out. Texts, calls, WhatsApp messages, asking for meetings, all because they know what's happening. And again, the message of real change is resonating. So I'm grateful to Liberian people for your belief and support. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, I just hope I can get the names of the other online platforms that are carrying this. Before we go into the discussion, this is something I want to do when I have you politicians on. What's really your political philosophy? What drives you? Who is Alexander Cummings vis-a-vis politics?
A country blessed to have good work ethic, good values. And so as I look at all of these blessings and I look at where our country is, and I say to myself, I have this obligation, this passion to help our country, to help the country of my birth. And I want to bring all of these things to bear to help our country. And so politically for me, it's about changing the country so that every Liberian benefits. The history of our country is not just starting with the CDC-led government. It's that only a few have benefited from the resources of Liberia. The Congo people used to keep this thing for themselves. That's a fact. And then I think when the Crown people took over, they used to try to keep most of it. And now if you're not sedition, you get excluded. We have to develop a country where every Liberian benefits from the resources of Liberia, and not just a few people. And so my political philosophy is that we need to develop the job creator. And these are some of the differences we want to make. Young education for our young people, for example, free healthcare and these things. But we also need the private sector to grow and develop.
Certainly, we will go perhaps on another day to house. You realize a whole lot to look at just the policy issues about development.
I would love that. I would love that.
Okay, now you are being accused by the All Liberian Party. I don't know if they are a sister party of yours now.
It is baseless, and it is all politics. So let me just spend a little bit of time on this subject. The framework document was signed and acknowledged by all of the political actors, the political parties within the CPP. We ran in an election, December by-elections, on the CPP platform. We ran another by-election recently. There was never any question about it from any of my colleagues. But like all of a sudden, maybe a light bulb went off in the heads or something, and this accusation surfaced. I believe it's all political. Look, JJ and the Liberian people, you tamper or you change something or you finger it for to provide you some advantage over the other people. There is nothing in the framework document that gave me any advantage over the ALP, over the Unity Party, over the Liberty Party. I and the ANC are constrained, are obliged to the same documents, the same restrictions, whatever they are. So you don't steal just to steal, you steal for food or for money or something to benefit you. We didn't do anything that we are not also compliant with. So I believe that because we are continue to make progress in Liberia, our change message is getting to Liberian people. We are ascending. I believe the leader of the All Liberia Party, in conjunction with the government, is trying to do two things: break up the CPP and to try to disparage me.
Okay, now let us come back to that, because coming for this show, doing some research, I went through the whole interview Mr. Ure did this morning with Henry Costa, and he claimed that those issues were raised since you had taken over. At that time, you needed to submit that document to the National Elections Commission. That you were told to that when the lawyers got you looking, you were supposed to take it back. You did not take their copies back to them. You just said it as it was.
But that is not true. We had a meeting at the Liberty Party headquarters where Mr. Ure attended. In fact, I think Mr. Ure is on record.
And he said at that meeting he even raised the concern.
He did not. That is absolutely untrue. But he was at that meeting. Joe Borka was at that meeting. The documents were reviewed. We put in. I don't know, and he's best to answer others why all of a sudden this thing is coming up, because it is untrue. It's based there. But let's go through the process. Let's see what the process reveals, right? I'm happy to go through the process and see and we'll prove whether he's right or I'm right.
Well, again, this is blemishing you, because one of the things that your supporters ran away, or ran with above the others was Mr. Cummings is a clean man. He hasn't been involved in anything. Now you are being touted as a criminal.
But and that's the objective. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make me like them, because I do have a clean image, and my image remains clean. They are doing exactly that. That is the whole conspiracy. I hope your listening audience is hearing me. That is the intent. That is the conspiracy. That's the conniving to make me look like them, to make me seem like a criminal. But again, I'm not. The records are there. You know, there's a saying I like. They say the best predictor of future performance, future behavior is past performance, past behavior. So look at my past behavior, my past performance, and then look at the accusers. Look at their past behavior, their past performance. Who has been on the UN sanctions list? Who has been accused of war, economic crimes? Look at the accuser. Look at his past, his history. Best predictive. So that is so objective. I'm glad you raised that point. Is to try to tarnish me, to make me seem like that. But the good news is the Liberian people are not buying it.
Isn't that possible that your Secretary General or whoever may have submitted the document could have made some changes in it?
Our Secretary General did not make any changes that did not come from the lawyers. So we.
So let us get this straight. It was the leadership of the CPP, the political leaders, that authorized the lawyers to review the document.
Absolutely.
So after the revision of the document, did all of the 4 political leaders see it before being submitted to NEC?
Yes. Yes.
But I think this is where the contention is. Mr. Ure is insisting no.
The document was reviewed with us by the lawyers at a meeting with at the Liberty Party headquarters. They took us through line by line, paragraph by paragraph, the changes that they were recommending. And so that process happened. Mr. Ure was in the meeting, as was Ambassador Borka. And so to come now and say that wasn't the case is completely unfounded.
Okay. So how did the signing process take place? The signing of the document?
The document was signed, it was taken to us individually.
By whom?
By Mo Ali.
Was it on the same day or different days?
They were on different days.
Okay.
But the document was taken around and signed by us
But
individually.
there was an internal process adopted by the CPP to have looked into this matter. Did it bring about any resolution?
So there was an internal process that was put together. There was no conclusive outcome, meaning the ANC did not agree to the conclusions that was made by the committee. We offered dissenting opinion to what was concluded. But again, if you look at that document, there were complete contradictions. The background of the document says something different from the observations in the document, says something different from the conclusions. The whole intent of that process was to get a particular outcome. And again, that's what's steering all of these issues. But again, let's go to the process and the truth will be revealed.
So you are ready for the court process?
I'm ready for whatever process comes
Now,
our way.
why are you attempting to involve the government that has no fish to fry? The government is not the one accusing you. It is your own colleague, who is your own colleague political party that is taking you to a governmental court and accusing you of wrongdoing.
Because the government must, two things I will say to that. One is, who benefits from the breakup in the CPP? The CDC-led government. Let me finish before you interject. Secondly, without any kind of investigation by the National Elections Commission, by any regulatory body or a regulatory body, the government brought a writ of arrest for me. No criminal charge is done without the government acquiescence. So they have motive, they have intent, and they participated in that process. They benefit, and I believe this was the plan all along, working with Mr. Ure to break up the CPP. So yes, I think the government is complicit in this action.
You are accusing Mr. Ure of being a government implant in the CPP?
I am now seeing Mr. Ure as being used by the government to break up the CPP and to disparage my reputation.
Others accuse Musa Bellet, who you're very friendly with, of being a government hand in the CPP to destabilize it as well.
So there has been no action that I have seen from Musa that is destabilizing the CPP. But I have seen an action based on just Mr. Ure issued an intent to leave the CPP, followed by this, bogus lawsuit. So yes,
that report, you are the reason why it has never been released to the public. You are the one who suppressed that report.
What's the basis of his assertion? What is he based on? What evidence does he have that I did that? Because he makes a statement, does it make it factual? Does it make it correct?
And this is why you have an opportunity to.
And I'm saying to you now, that is untrue. That is unfounded. Because Mr. Ure says that, what evidence did he provide to support that assertion?
But the report was not released, and you are you were the leader at the time.
The committee members, and Mr. Ure was in the meeting, by the way. The committee members said two things. One, they didn't have enough time to properly sort of investigate, and they said based on their decision, that they were not prepared to provide a written report. And Mr. Ure was in the meeting. In fact, there was a shouting match between him and the chairman of the committee on that very same point.
Okay. Another claim that he made, it is important because
so
these
are we here to...
No, not necessarily. No, it is important that you just clarify this last one, because those are things that point at who you are at your leadership credentials and all of that you unilaterally announced Fubi hearings as the running person in the District 9 by-election without consultation with the other political leaders.
That again is not true, and because these assertions or allegations are made doesn't make them correct. There was a process for making that decision. There was some breakdown in that process, but to say I unilaterally did it again, I think because Mr. Ure asserts that doesn't make it correct.
Okay. This whole thing, the way I'm trying to understand you is you're trying to make it like it's an issue of corruption. It's like a corrupt process, people trying to target you and all of that. Why do you see more of corruption in this?
Because this whole process reflects what is wrong with our country today. It reflects why our country is not progressing. The interplay between the hypocrisy between various politicians to stop change. Look, this idea of using the court system is not new. It was done in the Tubman years, in the Talbot years, the Charles Taylor year. That's a government Mr. Ure was an active participant in, and we know the ill repute of that government and what happened to Charles Taylor today. This process of stopping people who want to bring change for Liberian people, who want to look out for the young people of our country, for the women of our country. This is all historical. It's doing the same things and expecting different results. And so the system is corrupt. We need to change the system. The resources of Liberia is not meant for a president, a minister, a legislature. It's meant for the Liberian people. And because we are working hard to make our case to change the system is fighting back. And we're.
But do you think the country is ready for that change? If you listen to Lee Kuan Yew, he will say they were a generation ready for change. Is the country ready for that?
I actually think the country is ready for that change. There's an election for the legislature. Most of them know they're re-elected. Liberian people keep trying to find the right leaders to change. When the Liberian people elected President they thought but he got in power, and then they started to rationalize, but the people did it before, so now our chance to do it. So yes, I think Liberian people want change. So yes, the support we're getting from our people, the energy that is building, I think Liberians want change, and we'll see that change happen in 2023.
Well, have you spoken to former Vice President Bouaka recently?
I spoke to the former Vice President on the day the arrest warrant was issued. I called him.
He has remained conspicuous about all of these things. What do you think?
I think, I think it says a lot, and I think Liberians can draw their own conclusions from that. When the Vice President took over, he said that he would reconcile the CPP, he would bring the CPP together, and of course that hasn't happened. But Julius, leadership is not easy, and if it means I go it alone to make my case to Liberian people to bring change, I'm prepared to do that, because we have to. Change the system.
This is a profound.
Listen. When I say go it alone, I don't mean outside the CPP necessarily. I mean go it alone as a person, as a leader.
Okay.
Right. You've heard it saying that leadership is lonely, right? The burdens of leadership, and I'm prepared to carry that burden, because this is about the Liberian people. This is about making change for our country, and not everybody has the shoulders, the spine, the values to carry the burden of leadership. And I believe I have that, and I think I'm demonstrating that every day with the Liberian people.
Do you still see the CPP working?
I hope so. Obviously, it will not work as it was originally configured, because one of the constituent party has left the CPP, or at least expressed intention to leave. But having said that, though, I'm hopeful.
Can I? Yeah, sure. Yeah, you should
answer your question, please. I'm hopeful that the Unity Party, the Liberty Party, ANC can stay together, and we can invite other parties to join, so that we can coalesce the opposition without the participants of the ALP, since they have decided to leave the CPP.
There are those who think that you are desperate or angry, something making you angry. You really want this president thing, yeah. You just want to force the thing, yeah. You get way small. I'm deliberately asking you this question in Liberian parlance, because that's how they will say it. The man too Abu.
No, I'm not Abu for the presidency necessarily. I'm Abu to change Liberia. I'm able to change the suffering of the Liberian people. I'm anxious and I'm able to bring opportunities to the young people of Liberia. I'm able and I'm anxious to bring opportunities to our business people, to our women. I'm anxious to stop this culture of impunity. I'm anxious to stop this culture of rape. That is what, if you want to say I'm angry, that's what makes me angry. That is what I'm anxious to change. We cannot keep doing it. We are 174 years old as a country. And we are among the poorest countries in the world and in Africa, in the sub-region. We should be anxious, able to keep trying for change.
There have been loud calls from some partisans of the Unity Party.
In the unlikely event the CDP breaks up, I hope it doesn't, we'll try hard not to, I will still run for the presidency of Liberia. The key there though is real change will be on the ballot one way or the other, because this is about changing the system.
It is possible that yes, all of you could now realize that this thing we are joking with, we can very big. We are, if we go separate ways, let us reconcile. You all reconcile and come back together, and you go to a process and you do not win it.
That is possible, yes.
And in that case, what will you say, bro?
I've said consistently, I believe I said in the studio, maybe with Clarence or you, and I repeat, I don't know if the former vice president has said this, but I have said this, that if we go through the process we agree, and the outcome of that process is somebody else, I will support the outcome of the process. I have said that very consistently. I've said it before many times, and I'm saying it today again.
Okay. Why are you this confident? You really?
I'm confident because of the groundswell of support
and let me just give you the basis for my question. Because one of your former partisans and someone who refers to you as a big brother, Taiwan wrote the other time that you are the most suited, the best suited person to lead Liberia, to make a very good president. But your math isn't mathing. You don't have the numbers. You really cannot win the presidency because of everything else that he outlined.
So I don't know the basis of Ty's assertion regarding the numbers. What I'm saying to you is that based on our own internal polling and based on the groundswell of support, I believe we're getting, and remember we still got 18 months to go, I'm very confident that Liberians want change. Liberians know the system as currently structured and organized does not work in their favor. And I believe Liberians will vote for change in 2023. And that's what I'm confident of.
What do you really see as the serious issues that you want to change in this country?
I want to change the system. The system that deprives our people of good health care, of good education, of good jobs. Look, the government has been structured and organized the same way for the last 174 years. We've gotten the same results. We've done things the same way. We need to holistically revisit and change how we do things in our country. And so I want us to work together as a country, as a people, to change the system so that it benefits all of our people. That's, for me, is the passion and the objective.
Recently, I don't know if I should say a segment, the Liberty Party, whether it is a segment or not, because there are issues there, endorsed you amidst the controversy, the open controversy within the party. First of all, what do you make of that support and the issues that are happening therein? There are others who think that you are fueling the problems in the Liberty Party. How do you respond to all of this? First, the support, and then that you are fueling the controversies there.
So, first of all, I welcome the support, the endorsement wholeheartedly, and I thank the Liberty partisans for their support and endorsement. Secondly, I would say I'm hopeful that the Liberty Party does reconcile. I think it's in the interest of the party, of the CPP, of the country for them to come together. I don't want to interfere in the internal affairs of the party, but if I can help in any way to facilitate that, I would like to, because I think it's in the interest, as I said, of the party, the CPP, and the country. And I know I'm not the facilitator of the breakup of the CPP. That is completely untrue, completely unfounded.
Now, I'm particularly concerned about the issues in the Liberty Party. That the chairman is on your side and you are going with him, even though you know there are problems there, but you seem not to be concerned about the problems that are there.
I think I've answered the question in the sense that I'm grateful for the support from the Liberty Party, but I've also said I hope the Liberty Party can come back together. And if I can help in any way to facilitate that, I will. But I'm not the cause. I'm not the cause of the split in the Liberty Party.
Have you initiated any efforts to try to?
No, because I don't want to prematurely be seen. Because you just said I'm being accused of interfering, of course, in the split. So I want to be careful not to be seen to be doing that. But again, I'm hopeful they come together. And again, if I play any role that they deem appropriate, I'll be happy to play that role.
You as a political person would actually prefer or like the full endorsement of all the powers of the Liberty Party, right?
Yes, I would.
And so you should be clamoring for that kind of thing, wouldn't you?
I just said you don't like the answer to the question.
No, not really.
I just said listen. I just said it's my hope that the Liberty Party does come back together. And if I can play any role in helping to do that, I will. But I also said I want to be careful not to be seen to be interfering in.
That is understood. And then let me get the reason why I'm asking. Then in that case, it shouldn't be a problem for you to talk to the other side.
I'm happy to talk to any side. There's no reason. Normally I exchange Christmas, New Year's greetings, and that's
just pleasantry.
Yeah,
sir.
but
that's pleasantry. That's just.
But the point is, I'm happy to speak to all sides in the Liberty Party. I do want to be careful not to be seen to be interfering in the internal affairs of the party.
It was reported that there was some kind of meeting, whether you put me in person or not, with you and the former Vice President Joseph Boakai in Accra, Ghana. What is the nature of that?
The Vice President and I did meeting in Ghana. And by the way, the Vice President and I have had meetings many times. The Vice President and I have been friends for many years, probably almost 40 years. So the fact that he and I met in Ghana, I'm not sure why such a big deal is being made of it. He was in Accra, I was coming through, and we met, had a very good meeting. And you know, there's not too much more to say about the fact that we did meet in Ghana. But again,
it was an intentional meeting, not coincidental.
It was an intentional meeting, not coincidental. Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Was the outcome positive, even if you don't want to say it?
From my perspective, yes, it was.
Okay. I will have to ask this. No matter how outlandish that claim is, it has been claimed by a whole lot of people, some media people as well, that you try offering money to the former Vice President to back up.
That is completely untrue. I mean, I don't know how people come up with these things. In the conversation with the Vice President, he and I never discussed anything to do with money. That is untrue. That is a lie. That didn't happen. So whoever is alleging that, who is saying that, completely untrue. I don't throw, when you earn your money legitimately as I have, for as many years as I have to work to earn my money, you don't spend it stupidly, you don't throw it around, I don't pay to play, all of that stuff. I don't do that. Never have done it, never will. So that's completely untrue.
But did it?
So what's the but?
Was that meeting a part of the process, the initial processes in the CPP to that will lead to primary or what?
Yeah, look,
consensus building.
Yeah, the reality is there are two contenders for the leadership of the CPP, and that's the former Vice President and myself. There are only 4 possible outcomes from that process. One is I agree to step aside and support the vice president. Another alternative is that the vice president agrees to step aside to support me. So, other alternative, the vice president agrees to be my vice president, and we go together, or I agree to be his vice president, and we go together. Those are the four options when you think about it. So there's nothing wrong with having conversations around those options, right? But I am not here to disclose the content of our meeting. You asked a question, did we meet? The answer is yes. Did I think it was a good meeting? From my perspective, yes. And I think enough said about that meeting. But the fact that we met, it should not be a big deal, because we're in a collaboration, and again, I've known the vice president for many years.
Okay, before we can, I just want us to listen to this, and this is from you. The next time we meet, we'll go deeper into this, but this is from you. No, that's not what I want. Who put this here? I hope she has it here. That's not the one that I want. Okay, I don't think I have that, but it is about your year-end message. You really made a whole lot of claims there of what you're attempt to do for the country and all of that. What are your hopes for the new year? What do we expect to see from you?
Look, as I have in the past, I will continue to try to reconcile Liberians, to make sure we come together to focus on a real change. I've said I will work with any Liberian, regardless of age, gender, tribe, religion, because to change Liberia, we all have to work together and get our best talents, get the experience that all Liberians bring to bear. So as I think about 2022, it's about building a grand coalition that will be advocating for change. And that will be the focus, on working with all Liberians to reconcile us. Because it's only when we reconcile that we can move our country forward and change it. You know, I remind Liberians, we don't choose our tribe. We don't choose whether we are man or a woman. We don't choose whether we're young or old, because we don't choose the time we're born. We don't choose the religion we're born into. And so these things should not divide us. They should not give any one of us any extra advantage over the other or disadvantage, because those are not choices. That's based on providence, it's based on God. And we should not let those things divide us, but we should actually come together to work to move our country forward. And that's the message. Real change, working together as a country and as a people.
Okay, this is what I was looking for. I think I have it.
My name is Cummings, and I want to work with honest men and women to change Liberia for the better. I want to open the doors of governance to all capable persons. I want to use the collective brain power of all of our men and women. I want to build a nation of self-sufficiency. I want to build an environment that thrives on and promotes a vibrant Liberian private sector. I want to ensure that we are a nation where education is key in all of our national development priorities. I want to create and nurture a development agenda that ensures our young people have jobs when they graduate from school. I want to create an environment where our women have access to equal opportunities in every aspect of our society. I want to promote a system that uses our country's natural resources for the benefit of all. I want to see our country flourish beyond our wildest imagination. We are capable of doing it if we work together. We may not all agree all of the time, but we can set aside our differences and work towards charting a new course without the infighting, backbiting, and backstabbing. Whether you're a member of the ANC, ALP, LP, or UP, we must channel our support for individual candidates into championing our collective objective. Defeating the we administration in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections, and ushering in a governance more prepared, more capable, more experienced, more skilled, and more honest men and women. With your help, we can move Liberia to being a better country. I thank you. God bless you. God bless Liberia.
There's a whole lot of meat in there. We do not have the time. But I just want you to agree on this platform that the next time we meet, I would like for us to go through all of these bit by bit to really understand the house.
Absolutely. We always talk about not just the what's, because the what's are easy. Everybody knows what we need to do, but the house is the most important. So absolutely, the next time we're together, we can focus on the house.
Okay, let's go to the line steps. Take some calls for the next 10 minutes, and then he will use the last 6-7 minutes to wrap up. Be very decorous. You're doing very well. This is not where you can just say anything. And be very decorous. Answer questions and all of that. The numbers are 777 700 995 0555 995 995. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's the name?
Good evening, Julio.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is a contact that I pick up at the same time.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Cummings.
Good evening.
Oh,
Good
that
evening.
no, let me answer. The man microphone off. Okay, I think we're still off.
Is that power?
Yeah.
So, okay, we experiencing some technical difficulties.
Sorry, we are having some power issues if you are watching.
We
That
will
country.
reconnect with you. So
That's what we
just
need to change.
Just stay tuned as we go through brief time of reconnection.
Okay, I think we're back on.
Okay.
I think we're back on. I don't know how outside there
We're
sounds.
told
I
that,
think we're back on
we're back
0777
in
700
So you can
995
follow
0555 995 995. I believe we should be on. Welcome. What's your name?
Hello?
Yes. What's your name?
Yeah, good evening. My name is James Kapula, and I call you from Balabi.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let me say greetings to Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings spoke well, and we understand that all of these things are politics because we listened to Mr. Yuri this morning, and he said the only reason is because he begged Mr. Cummings to go as Vice President of Uganda, and Mr. Cummings refused. So we can understand where all the allegations are coming from. That it is the right of Mr. Cummings to contest. We are seeing him that he's a break away from the old order. He's serious about year change. And that's what we are appreciating. Thank you.
You sure about that?
I'm very sure about that. He's a real change agent because Mr. Cummings doesn't make political statements. He means what he says and he says what he means.
Okay.
That's the kind of thing we want to see happening in our country.
Thanks so kindly. Thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Okay, go ahead.
That is thanks to Mr. Cummings for delivering very well. And let me just say this for the fact, Chairman Julius. Since the inception or the inclusion of the U.S. policy, all that we have been seeing is just problem. It started when Mr. U.S. as chairman at the time, decided to choose Mr. Blackman, which this is right. But we went on to dealing with Mr. Cummings calling him a stranger. It did not stop there. It went on to bring about the issue about the Spring of Blackman alteration, which up to now he has accepted that it went or what was altered. So this is the question, right? So all that has been happening is to destabilize and destroy CDC so that Mr. George can have access to the presidency for elected just two in a year because we all know
Thanks so kindly. This person says, what kind of vice president should we expect to see if you are to go as vice to J and B? This person says, please ask Mr. Cummings, why did he collaborate with people he knows are corrupt unlike him? When did he realize Mr. Uri is corrupt? Augustine Tamba says that. Councillor Silvers, is it Councillor Silvers or who he said? He said, please ask whether he authored the framework document. If yes, did he revert to the rest of the leaders for their review and approval before filing? Same with the NEC. I think we went over that. Julius, please answer. Guess how many times did he attend the meeting called by the chairman of the CPP? Which meetings are you talking about? Okay. This person says, why did Mr. Cummings choose to attend a program at Liberty Party offices knowing that the party is in crisis? Because it's like me taking my birthday party to the home of a friend who is in crisis with his wife. What would that friend's wife say about me? That's a concern there. This person says, he says, Cummings, that's Sarah Sigbe. Cummings is not a leader. The disrespect to Youngly by going to the LP headquarters even after being told not to go there tells me that his managerial style is faulty. Imagine if Youngly had done such to him. How would he have felt? So he's doing the same thing as a normal politician, but supposed to get different results, change styles with a person. Can you ask Cummings why the collaboration with Ria broke down in 2017? Okay. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Thank you, Julian, and good afternoon to Honorable Cummings.
Go ahead.
My name is Kumar Patrick, and I've come this afternoon from this community.
Let's hear you.
I listened to Honorable Cummings this afternoon to share so many things on the platform. I want to ask a very simple question on Cummings because we are following the national policy. We are aware that if a leader is accused, then practice says that you stay aside until you can go and answer those allegations. Because today Honorable Cummings.
Who is accusing him? Is it his partisans or others?
I'm discussing best practice.
Which one? But no, which one is the best practice? Is he the leader of the CPP?
No, he's the leader of ANC and currently ANC. When political leader of Cummings is currently, they are currently fighting for criminal appearance wrong. So currently, he said yesterday he sat on criminal bench. So it's not just like allegation against him. He should step aside political leader.
Or he should step aside as political leader of the party. Okay. Okay. Thanks so kindly. We'll hold you right there. Let's take somebody else. Welcome. What's the name? But did you ask him? He said he doesn't have evidence. Okay, thanks for calling. Let's hold you there. We have a few more minutes to go. Welcome. What's the name?
Thank you, Peter. My name is Peter Johnson, and I'm from BNC.
Let's hear you. Okay. Yeah, thanks so kindly. We'll hold you right there. Liberians will judge. Let's take Assistant Minister Alvin Weiser. Alvin, welcome.
Well, thank you, Julius, for the show. And let me say good evening to Mr. Cummings. But Julius, I have seen some level of dishonesty in Mr. Cummings' comments. And
which ones?
Okay, further, I have to be very short.
Yeah, you gotta be sure that 1 minute ago.
The first one is, you said you want to change the system, change the government, transform society and Liberia as a whole. You cannot come with the mantra of change at the same time going back for people who have looked at it and people who have pillaged the resources of this country. Just like Waka is not part of the change. So that's one. The second thing is you started boasting that you have benefited from one segment of the Liberty Party that gave you support. Going forward, the Liberty Party is in crisis. So that being said, you want to reconcile and bring people as per the speech you just played. I expected you to have told Musa, Delo, and Yongri to do internal reconciliation before you can benefit from any support. But to have benefited a segment of a Liberty Party that you are already aware that is in crisis, it means that you are not far from the conference at the Liberty Party. Lastly, I'm not a student of law, but I mean, there's something they call swa spontaneity. The court does not go looking for cases. The people are the ones who take cases to the court. So if your colleague in the CPP would carry to court, you should not transfer that on the government. I think we can be honest to the national discourse.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. We'll hold you there. Welcome. Let's hear you quickly. 1 minute.
Thank you, Cheers. And I want to thank you for bringing Mr. Cummings on. Happy New Year. My name is Bonnie, and I speak from Bushwa Island. I will follow and advance some of the points coming from my colleagues. Mr. Cummings, what would have happened upon your return from the U.S. and go to your party headquarters and have your occasion in celebration? Why did you honor Miss Ability like back of the color I said? The friction were there, the classes were there. You are executive on Youngly side, you are executive on Benedicta side. What would have happened if you boycotted that? Because in your opinion, you take it side, a reconciler or leader shouldn't go to a horse that is on fire and take side. You should have just gone to your headquarters upon your return and have your celebration. Why you honor military request?
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Oh, you went off there. Let's see who's on this line. Welcome. What's your name?
Hello, Mo, calling from the Liberia community around here.
Let's hear you.
Yes, I want to ask Mr. Cummings. There have been so many good ones coming around him. I want to know, have you ever been on the CFA?
Okay. See you, yeah? Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Let's hear you.
My name is Abraham Dijudan. I'm calling from Senegal. I want to ask Mr. Cummings, according to the Secretary General of the United Party, since Joseph Bada became chair of the CBB, and Mr. Cummings have never attended a meeting. Is it true? And if yes, why?
Okay. This person says the battle is not between ABC and the O orders, but rather between them. These two refuse real change and us who want the real change. ABC is concerned with reinventing the government of Liberia. The political elites are against. Reinvention to ABC means changing existing systems to bring about economic and public administrative development, which are keys to national and societal development. Emmanuel Peters sends in that one. Welcome. What's your name?
Good evening.
You got my second to last caller. Yeah.
This is Joseph Bada. I call you from Senegal.
Why? But how is he? How is he speaking? Out where does he speak? No, I was particularly concerned about the moves by the ALP. That is what I was talking about. Has he spoken about that? Okay. Thanks for kindly. We'll hold you right there. The final call. Welcome, what's your name? Yeah? Go ahead. Okay. Thanks so kindly. Okay, thanks so kindly. We'll go back to him the next few minutes to respond to wrap up. That's it. Next up, we'll be coming to you with two other reports on the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. Stay tuned. Yes, sir. We're back to you.
Okay. So on the comment about me not attending meetings that the former vice president has called, that is not true at all. We have had several meetings that the vice president has called that I've attended. There was a National Advisory Council meeting. In fact, if the statement came from Moali, he was at the same meeting at Balakasa that I attended. The vice president called another meeting of political leaders at his office that I've attended. So that statement is not true. There was, I guess, a comment, I'm not sure, a question about, collaborating with the CPP. Look, if you're going to change the system, it's always sometimes helpful to change the system from within. If you stand too far apart from the country, from the people, it'll be difficult to make the sort of changes necessary. So we make no apologies about trying to collaborate within the CPP. As I say, you have to change the system from within, and that's what we're trying to do, and we'll still continue to do that, and hope the CPP survives. There was a question about attending the Liberty Party upon my return. It was an event organized by the Liberty Party, and I remind people that although it's unfortunate that the Liberty Party is split, and as I said, I hope they can find ways to reconcile. Per the National Elections Commission, there is the Liberty Party is recognized under the chairmanship of Musability, and so I was formally invited by that group, and so I attended a Liberty Party event. And beyond that, the event I attended was one about raising funds to support microloans for women, something I have a lot of passion for, and so another reason why I thought it was important to actually honor that invitation. I went to Liberty Party headquarters. There was a question about evidence with regards to collaboration of Mr. Ure and the government of Liberia. And what I'll say to that is, as I said earlier, this was a quote-unquote a criminal allegation, and there was no investigation done. No regulatory body was consulted. Just one party accused another, and the Solicitor General, working with the courts, agreed to issue this writ. That says to me that there was some collusion, some conniving. Government is involved, and because I think I represent threat to this government, this regime, I stand by that assertion. The rest, I think, Julius, were more comments in the list I missed, but I think I've covered where there were specific questions.
Okay, I think the time is up. So what are your parting comments?
So look, I just say again to Liberians that one, I believe in us as a people. I believe we can and must change our country. I believe we are not and should not be satisfied with the current environment where we find ourselves, where the suffering of our people, of our young people, of our women, the impunity with which our laws and rules are violated. And I pledge to continue to work to bring our country together and to make my case to Liberian people for real change. So thank you to Liberians for all the support I've gotten through this process. We're grateful, we appreciate you, and Happy New Year. God blessings to Liberia.
Okay, thanks so kindly, Mr. Cummings, for accepting our call to be here. We're taking a break. When we come back, there are three other reports. As a matter of fact, when I go over and see what corporation we dealt with one the other day, we are reading the order to 2019, 2020, 2020 to 2021. That is what we are doing. Everything that happens here, we will expose it as it happens. So we'll read those two